Chestnut.
Hello, everybody. Here in Hilliard, Ohio, at Leapin Lizards, and on the internet. Welcome to Phygital Nights, where we mix the physical, bar atmosphere location with the digital world out there, so that people can enjoy and help us, laugh and choose a winner later tonight. But more on that to come. All right, so, let's kick back, drop the top, and let the bass rattle in the rear view, because we are back with Bad Breaks with Buster Chestnut. Whether you're grinding at the desk, stuck in Columbus traffic or elsewhere, or sorting through some base cards, trying to find a shimmer of hope in the dark, cruel, cruel world, we're here to smooth it out. Now, before we get into the cardboard and the hustle, I got to talk about, my week, because the universe has been handing out breaks, and I caught a few of them, right in the teeth. Wednesday, I was on cloud nine. We had a great show here on Tuesday night. Had a great, great set of comedy, great interview with my friend Carrie from American Arbitrage Cards. But anyway, woke up on cloud nine, but, maybe slightly hungover. So I did what I needed to do, went through, started making some posters and flyers and whatnot. Then came Thursday. Okay. Thursday was my 15-year wedding anniversary with my wife, Satin. Mentally, I was completely checked out that day. I had planned this romantic gift and, possibly a romantic dinner and all this stuff. But, it basically ended up being just a romantic gift exchange with about 3.5 minutes between getting my 7-year-old off the school bus and dragging her ass to a Girl Scout hike. Then, after that, there was a troop meeting. By the time that ran so late, we basically had to Audible our romantic anniversary dinner at McDonald's. Look, normally we're a Wendy's, Raising Cane's kind of family. So, the Golden Arches, that's high society for us. So Satin, she was thrilled and went to bed early. So back out on the push for comedy promotion. So, I swung by this establishment, dropped off some flyers, hung out, thought about doing karaoke, decided not to. But anyway, I ended up going down the street. I'm not going to say the bar. You're welcome, Amber. But anyway, I was promoting, passing out flyers, and there were these two women next to me. And I said, "Hey, do you guys like comedy?" And I got hit with an abrupt no. I was like, okay, whatever. It was hold on, I'm getting a phone call. It's probably spam. Nope. Hey, Carissa, can you call Stephanie and see what the delay is? I can't answer your call. I'm not going to do that. All right. If you could reach out to her, that would be awesome, Carissa. All right. So anyway, I found out that it was, a mother-daughter duo celebrating a birthday. And, my face was apparently ruining that vibe. So I stood up, I walked away, and nearly walked face first into a literal brick wall. I look up and I mutter, holy fucking shit. It's Buckeye legend, MMA Hall of Famer, Mark the Hammer Coleman. And to my absolute shock, the Hammer ended up talking to me for like 30 minutes, which, when I found out the birthday woman, was his ex-wife, the girl that yelled at me was his daughter. She is a spitting image of her dad's personality. Zero hesitation to completely body slam a stranger's confidence. She snapped at me. She didn't yell at me. I don't want her to kick my ass. Please don't kick my ass. Anyway, so I spent the weekend recovering, planning, cleaning, doing family stuff. So Monday, I figured I'd relax. I went down to the condo clubhouse. We messed around in the community garden. I mean, that wasn't the fun part. But, the garden's right next to the pool. So I decided it was a great idea to jump into the pool for the first time of this year, had to celebrate Memorial Day. Well, about 120 seconds later, I was right back out, freezing my ass off, just absolutely feeling disrespected. But hey, Monday, I also secured an awesome guest for tonight's show. But first, real quick, let's recap some of the sports, major sports topics this week. Wanted to give a big shout out to the winner of the Indianapolis 500, Felix Rosenquist, who actually raced for a local racing company. I don't know the exact name of it, but it's out of Pataskala. So, big props. Anyway, so moving on to the hardwood. Friday night, the Golden State Valkyries caught a bad break against the Indiana Fever, blowing a halftime lead to take a 90-82 loss, thanks to Caitlin Clark dropping her signature deuce. Finally, the NBA Eastern Conference Finals are over. It was an absolute bloodbath. Last night, Game 4, hometown Cavs got completely demolished at Rocket Arena, taking 130-93 loss to get swept right out of the fucking playoffs. Donovan Mitchell dropped 31, but the rest of the team might as well have stayed home. The Knicks are headed to the finals for the first time since 99, and the Cavs are officially booking tea times. All right, speaking of catching a break and taking a hit, my guest today, Michael, I do need your assistance coming up. Hopefully my guest is still in there. My guest today knows exactly what that takes. He is the king of the sweetest custom personal collection that, I can imagine, which I'm very jealous of. He is the mail-in master, a guy who literally got hit by a bus and is still out hustling the industry. Let's bring in Shaan Gandhi from On Card Autographs. All right. What you set up, Shaan?
Hey, can you hear me?
I can hear you. The bar can hear you, correct? All right. We can hear you. Welcome, Shaan. So on our podcast, I like to talk bad breaks. You look at you literally last year. I was following along your socials and stuff. You were literally hit by a bus. Walk us through that and how you managed to build more momentum with your business while recovering.
Yeah, so it was it's about 10 months now. It happened in July of last year. And honestly, it couldn't have been any worse timing because it was a week before the National, which is obviously the biggest card show week of the year. It happened 2 days before I was supposed to go see Larry Bird. And that was about, $100,000 in orders that I then had to try and fulfill from a hospital bed, which was difficult. But
I bet.
To your point, it was a testament to how good my customers are. They understood. I would hope so, the situation. But I had a lot of help from I sent my dad to Indiana to go do Larry Bird for me, and he helped a lot. My friends helped a lot, and the agents took care of the pieces for me. But I think really what helped the most was just trying to do my best to get these orders done for the people who paid. And that was a testament to how, the customers really appreciated the fact that I was trying. And I had help obviously, and everything ended up turning out okay. But I think that really gave me an extra push in terms of business trajectory because of people seeing the results that I was able to put out, even while being, in the hospital. And then when I eventually came back home to New York, I still couldn't do much. And people were willing to wait, and they were willing, to wait on my updates physically before being able to start shipping out orders and sending pictures like I normally do. So that 2 month span was a big turning point for because I could have lost a lot of business. I really could have lost a lot of business there, and people took care of it, and they were willing to wait.
Yeah, man. I appreciate the hustle. I definitely have followed a lot of your work and appreciate the effort that you put into the service that you provide. But yeah, so you've been on an absolute tear. You've secured, a future private signing with Steph Curry. How do you pitch yourself to an icon on that level and build trust as a younger guy in the industry?
Yeah, I mean, I did Steph back in January, which was an awesome experience. It's a story for another day, given how crazy that signing was and how, the circumstances of how that went down. But the main thing is really just showing quality. Like, the motto that I built my company on is I wish that I could do everything that I wanted to have done to me when I was the customer. And, that's basically it. Showing people, especially these agents that are willing to trust you to bring in a lot of money and a lot of items, and letting you into the room with, these athletes that are pretty closed, when they're not out in public. They just want to be themselves, and trusting a kid to get in there and not, become a fanboy or do or say something stupid or take videos when the athletes don't want to be filmed, stuff like that. Just showing the professionalism is something that's really important, and that I've really tried to do. And that's how I've been able to build relationships with these athletes and these agents at such a young age. But really it's just showing the exclusive rights holders or the promoters or the agents or whatever you want to call them that, I'm not just doing this for fun. Like, it is a business at the end of the day. Yeah, I do like to have fun. And, it's a lot, being the young guy, I'm the butt of the jokes and all that stuff. But at the end of the day, it is a business. So you have to understand it from that point of view. And if that's what I've been trying to do, I have fun, but at the end of the day, it is a business. So I try and put that foot forward first and then have fun after.
Yeah, man. I mean, I get it, but I do respect the hustle. Like, I wish I had half of the hustle at your age. All right. So I did preface that I was going to go here. So let's talk about the internet's favorite dumpster fire for a second. You are a co-admin for the Facebook group Sports Card Nonsense, which ironically might actually be the exact reason that I got dragged back into the hobby. Shh. Don't tell Gio and Jesse. I said that. I don't want that information to get out, to the wide population. But seriously, how do you moderate that level of toxicity and chaos? What is the ultimate Shaan breaking post? The one thing someone types that makes you just sigh, roll your eyes, and instantly reach for the band hammer?
Yeah, I mean, it's a team effort for sure. I'm trying to moderate that group. Like, I think we're at 458,000 people or something like that.
It's ridiculous.
It's the largest sports card group on social media, if I'm not mistaken. And I think there's a team of 8 of us now that run it. And obviously, when I'm in school and doing signings, I can't be as attentive as I used to be when during COVID and stuff like that. So it's a team effort for sure, and we all try and pitch in when we can, because there's thousands upon thousands of posts a day. To answer the second question, the ones that get me annoyed are when people ask, like, what did I do wrong? And it's just like, when we decline a post or we remove a comment or something, there's literally a note at the bottom that says what rule you broke, or we type what you did wrong. So there's no reason to then make another post saying, hey, admin, can you please tell me what I did wrong? Or people will PM me and be like, hey, why'd you take my post down? And I get enough PMs as it is from my business that I honestly just pass those along to the other admin, because I don't have time to look at those, especially when it's not something that I did. And 99% of the time, the notes are there. You just got to look, and they're either, annoyed, that it got removed or they didn't read the rules when they joined. So things like that. And then just plain like laziness that gets, you know, like people sometimes want to know the value of their card. And I get it. Like, you know, I get it. Like we all need to learn somewhere and learn the steps to take. And, you know, it's not to bash anybody that does that, but we made a post with exact step-by-steps on what to do when you want to look at the value of your card. And we do make exceptions, right? If it's a 1-of-1 or a really rare high-end card.
I get that.
Right?
I've never pulled a 1-of-1, but
you know, like
maybe we'll get lucky here in a few minutes. We'll see.
Yeah, I hope so.
All right. Sorry to cut you off, but you know, I want to move on to the next question because this is something that makes me extremely jealous. All right. So your personal collection is legendary. All right. I'm going to let you explain it. I had it in the question, but I'll let you explain your personal collection. But I want one question. Which was the most difficult athlete to track down for that follow-up signature opportunity? Go ahead and explain that if you don't mind.
Yeah. So obviously I collect high-end signed cards and memorabilia from the guys that I like and the guys I do signings with and respect. But as you mentioned, my main collection are signed 8x10s of myself and the athletes that I have personalized and inscribed to me. And I have, I don't know, probably like 150 to 200 of them now, just because I work with so many athletes throughout the year. And yeah, I just think they're cool. They're cool. That's one of the things I mentioned. I get made fun of a lot for taking pictures with these guys. Like, you know, Barry Sanders and I are on a first name basis, but I still take a picture of them every time I see him. Like, it's just something cool that I find and I can scroll through and just as memories. Because, you know, maybe one day I won't be doing this and you go back and see like, oh, look, I was cool with Barry Sanders back in the day. I don't know. But to answer your question, the hardest one would be Larry Bird. And it's not because he doesn't sign often. He signs all the time. I'm actually going to go see him in the end of July, right before the National. Kind of ironically enough, the exact same timetable as when I got run over by the bus. But let's
hopefully hope that doesn't happen again.
I hope
Fingers
not.
Crossed.
But the bird one, he doesn't do inscriptions, so it kind of took a little bit of courage. And I've worked with him probably 8 times now, almost 10 times, I think. But it took a little bit of courage to ask him, like, hey, can you personalize this for me? Just because he doesn't do them, and the way his signings work, he doesn't say anything. He's nice, like he's polite. He walks in, says, how you doing? You know, good to see you guys. But he doesn't say a word throughout the signing, and you actually get in a little bit of trouble if you talk too much, or because he's strictly business.
I've heard stories about him being, just good old farm boy, straight ahead work.
Exactly. He's not mean by any stretch of the imagination. It just took a little courage to ask him to do something that he normally doesn't do. And he did it. And I have 2 of them like that, actually. Awesome. And they're really nice. But that would be probably the coolest one. And I think there's 3 players that I am unable to get because they passed away. And it's Jerry West and 2 others, I think. But out of like the 200 different individual different photos that I have, I think only 2 of them or 3 of them I can't get signed and personalized.
Okay. Well, that's a pretty good ratio. And I am very jealous of the Barry Sanders. That is one of my favorite running backs of all time.
I'm going to see him
probably Michael, are you a Barry Sanders fan? All right. The owner here at Leapin Lizard, he went to school and graduated from, I'm going to say that state up north because I can't say that. Anyway, and he's a big Lions fan, and he's a Barry Sanders fan. So I will give it up for Barry Sanders. He is one of the greatest, and I don't know, in my book, he's one of the best I've seen ever play. All right, so moving on. I got 2 more questions, and then we'll get into the rip. So, all right, in mail-in private signings, what constitutes a true bad break? Have you ever, had a premium item lost or an athlete sign a multi-signed piece right over someone else's face?
Yeah, Just a side note, I'm going to see Barry on Sunday in Detroit. Such a nice guy. He's easily my favorite athlete to work with. But um, as far as bad breaks go, it actually happened this year. It was probably one of the toughest business moments that I've had in my life. There was a package going to a signing that I couldn't attend for a certain reason, and it got lost in the mail. And that was it was a lot of money. It was high five figures worth of cards and a lot of money in autograph fees. It was a big name basketball player, and it's just part of the game. Like it's only happened once. Knock on wood, it doesn't happen again. But it's part of growing as a businessman. You got to learn how to mitigate the risks, and eventually there's losses are going to happen. Bad breaks, as you call them, are going to happen, and you just have to learn how to move past them. And luckily, like it goes back to the first question. Like my customers were really understanding. Like once you put something in the mail, it's out of your hands. There's nothing you can do about it. So if it gets lost, you just have to make it right. If you go dig into your personal, what you think you want to happen to you if you were on the receiving end of that. And that's what I did. And then it's just kind of have to roll with the punches and build back up. But I think it actually helped my business because my customers saw that I was willing to go down and do that for them.
Yeah. And that's respectable. Being, a small business owner myself, which I'm not even close to your level. I just, resell cards and make content occasionally, tell some jokes. But I can understand, the business side of wanting to, make sure that your customers are well taken care of and, all that. But I can also see the other side of it being somebody that sent something in. Maybe it was something they personally ripped or, but I'm glad that you were able to try and make it right as best as you could. That's what we try to do, right? All right. One last question. All right. I was just making sure you were still there. One last question. All right. You have an epic run coming up with the, as you dubbed it, the Summer of Signings. Give us the roadmap leading up to the Chicago National late in July, and what advice you have for collectors navigating the floor there.
Yeah. Well, starting this weekend, obviously, like I said, I'm heading to Detroit for 50 guys in 3 days. Barry Sanders being the headliner there. Then I have a little bit of a break in June, which is unheard of. A whole month without traveling is really nice, especially since I'm summer vacation. I can finally relax. But then July, we have Dak Prescott, Randy Moss, Fanatics Fest, which is going to be crazy here in New York, especially with the World Cup and everything that they have going on there. It's going to be nuts. And then, like I said, should have Steph coming up again at some point this summer. We don't know exactly when. He's a busy guy, and he deserves his off time too. For sure. I saw he was in like Saint Tropez or something yesterday or something like that. But when he comes back, we'll do a signing with him, and then the National at the end of July, which is, like I said, the biggest event of the year. And from the first year I ever went, I was not set up in the back like I am now. So I walked the floor like everybody else. My biggest pieces of advice would be wear comfortable shoes because you walk a lot and the floors are not forgiving at all in any sense of the word. You got to wear comfortable shoes. And then just take pictures of things because it's so easy to get lost. I mean, it's huge. Like
that's a good tip I haven't heard yet.
Yeah, like I've never seen anything like it. I mean, I've been to the car show here at the Javits Center when I was younger, and it's kind of like that. But if you see a card that you like, but you're not 100% sure, you don't want to spend your money just yet, you have to take a picture of the booth number or the display case and the booth number. Otherwise, you're never going to find that again. Like I promise you're not going to find it if you don't take a picture. So those are my two biggest pieces of advice, which is wear comfortable shoes and take pictures of everything, and you'll. That way you can find your way back when you decide you want it or something like that.
All right. Well, yeah, that is some very good advice. I have heard the comfortable shoes before. I've definitely heard the wear fucking deodorant because
that too.
But taking a picture, you can't light me. All right. Sorry. Somebody was trying to light me and it's my show. Okay. So Shaan, the chat is asking when. What was it? When? Here, just ask it. Here. All right. When are you going to be on again to update what you're doing? That's the chat question.
I don't know if that's up to me.
All right.
I think that's up to you.
I would love to have you back anytime.
Yeah.
But
yeah,
first,
I'd be more than happy to do so.
First, we're going to go through, and since you're Mr. Autograph Man, I'm going to open all right, it's a lower and unlicensed product, Leaf Metal Football, all right, which comes guaranteed with 4 autographs, all right? So I'm going to rip them. We're going to, go through, and I kind of, I'll try and show them on a camera, maybe. Hey, Michael, I might have you switch my camera to this camera so that Shaan can help us judge these autographs that we pull, okay? You with me?
Sounds good.
All right. All right, did you switch it yet? All right. Shaan, you can still hear me, right?
Yep.
All right. We were having a little, production. I'm a one-man show here, all right? Well, one and a half man show. Anyway, so wanted to show, quickly what we're ripping today. It looks like a fun product. It has 4 base cards and 4 autographs, one of which being an on-card autograph, which, all right, while I'm opening this, can you, explain what makes an on-card autograph cooler?
Yeah, I mean, to me, it's really just as simple as the player actually handled the player actually signed the card that you have, right? Like whether it's a mail-in signing like what I do, or if you pull one from a pack like that, like the player actually signed and touched that card, which I think is much cooler than just a sticker that they signed by, hundreds and hundreds and hundreds at one time. And trust me, I watch them do it. It's just I mean, granted, the on-card pack stuff is the same, but it's just nice to know that the player actually signed that specific card and not just a sticker over and over and over again, because it just seems like you have a more of a personal connection to that card, especially if it's one that you send in. Like that's your card that you sent in, and the player has the opportunity to actually sign it. And I try and take a picture or video of everybody's items so they have that added piece of connection to the item that they get back. So that's why I think on-card autographs are cool, and that's how I kind of started in this hobby, which is why my name on Instagram is what it is, and that was my main collection.
I caught the last card on here, and I did finally pull a 101. We'll see what it is here in a second.
Nice.
All right, so I'm just going to read off the base cards real quick just so we can get through that. We got Brady Schmiegel. I'm not sure who that is. Malachi Tony. Caden Wetjen. Aaron Anderson. All right. All right. And we are starting to get the autographs, so give me a second. All right, so the first autograph that we're gonna pull is a LeJohntay Wester. I am not sure who this is. This might be a high school NIL player. All right, it's gonna take a second, but can you see the autograph in your view?
Yep.
All right, judging this autograph, do you? Would you give any notes to the signer?
It's actually not bad, especially for a younger guy who the younger players really don't care.
Yeah.
And now I can't. Yeah, there we go. The younger guys don't care. But that one's actually not horrible especially for
this is my critique. I have a better view. He does go off the sticker a little bit on the top. That would affect it, right?
Yep, it's not gonna grade a 10 if you choose to auto grade it. If it goes off the sticker or off the card, if it's an on card, it automatically won't get a 10, even if there's no blemishes throughout.
All right, this next one, once again, not familiar with this player, but at least it has we'll say an inscription of the number. So what does, adding the player's number do for you?
It's a differentiator for sure, because most guys don't anymore. And it's always nice when it doesn't count as an inscription, when they just do it as part of their signature. Because some guys will charge an inscription to do it. But it's not something like I said with the first one, you just don't see it as much with these younger players. They just want to do the bare minimum. So it's always nice to have a little extra on there.
All right. All right. So one reason why I asked that is because I follow an Ohio State Buckeye cornerback. His name's Jermaine Matthews Jr. He's actually like a second cousin of my best man in my wedding. So I got to support the family. But anyway, he started off his career as 24. So the autograph I have is Jermaine Matthews Jr. 24, but now he's rocking the 7, which is, legendary for Buckeyes. But anyway, so, it adds a little bit of, interest to it. You know what I mean? When they change numbers like that. All right, so next, I'm just going to guess this is Ole Miss because of the color scheme, but we got an Austin Simmons. I thought that was our on card, but that is the sticker. So, all right. So I think he goes to Ole Miss. Not sure, not really familiar with this guy, but that's a clean signature, and it's on the sticker. So we like that. Good. Ooh, all right. Do we have any Cincinnati Bengals fans? We're in Ohio, by the way, Shaan. So any Bengals fans out here tonight? Because I just pulled a Hall of Famer Bengals player, which, Jesus Christ. All right. I'm sorry for that expletive. You'll see why I said that here in just a moment, especially since you're in New York.
Yeah, that's awesome.
All right, Anthony Munoz. I was talking about the next card. You'll see in a second. Anthony Munoz. That's a beautiful autograph.
He's the man.
Guy that was trained in, cursive.
Yeah, right? He's awesome. I actually got stuck from the last show I was at in Chicago when it was that crazy weather. We were stuck in the airport together for like 5 hours, and we just spent the entire time just shooting the breeze. He's such a good guy, down to earth, and I just happened to sit next to him at our gate, and we just talked for like 5 hours. He's a great guy.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Especially, coming from, we're in Central Ohio, so we got some fans of, Cincinnati, some fans of Cleveland, some fans of Pittsburgh, which I don't know what their problem is. Okay. So I told you I've never pulled a 1-of-1 before. And I just pulled a 1-of-1 of one of last year's best draft picks. A New York Giant.
Got to be Dart, right? Or Scat. There you go. That's awesome.
Scat.
Nice
on
one.
Card. I don't know the value of that, but that's definitely going to be for sale on Buster Chestnut card. Because I don't like the Giants. All right. So I'm going to wrap up. Shaan, do you have anything else you want to promote or, bring up?
I mean, just my Instagram's in my name right there, and then obviously I have my website sagautographs.com, and that's where you can find all the upcoming signings if you're interested in getting some of your pieces signed. And it's just a cool little niche of the hobby that I've been able to carve out my space in, and happy to talk autographs with anybody. So appreciate you having me.
Hey, I appreciate you showing up, and especially last minute. I really appreciate that, man. I am a little bit behind on getting the podcast updated, but I'll make sure to get this out before the National. I promise. All right. All right. Thanks again, Shaan, for joining us for Bad Breaks with Buster Chestnut.
No problem.
All right. We'll be talking.
What up, everybody? Let's go! Flipping through the packs, chasing down that 101, yeah. Searching for the grail till the morning sun comes. Buster! Hit that monster pull, an impossible play. Change the whole damn game in a major way. We hit that monster pull, an impossible play. Change the whole damn game in a major way. Whoa!